bit of a place of destiny for this race. A lot of issues here for other drivers. I've been getting through it cleanly so far. Welcome to Monza, where round 8 of our 1991 Pierluigi Martini F1 season in Automobilista 2 takes place. Now, ahead of this race in 1991, there was controversy, as still, with Gachot in prison, silly season was going strong. Michael Schumacher should have stayed with Jordan after his surprise debut at Spa-Francorchamps, but his performance that weekend impressed Benetton team boss Flavio Briatore so much that he snatched Michael from Jordan and swapped him with Roberto Moreno. A move that Eddie Jordan did not particularly like. The rest of the field was spared of this game of musical chairs for the moment though, as Mansell managed to close the gap to Senna in the actual season by winning ahead of the Brazilian, while Schumacher, on his Benetton debut, scored the first points of his career. Pierluigi Martini did not finish this race as he spun off on lap 8 in yet another race where a decent result was possible. So again, we will try to change the course of history and actually achieve a good result here, as I once again aim for a point scoring position. Ambitious, but not impossible, especially if we take a look at the starting grid, where again Martini has put his Minardi into the top 10. Now here are the rest of the 26 drivers that made the grid today, as we are about to start the Italian Grand Prix 1991. And here we are, starting from P10, awaiting the green lights, and off we go at Monza. And it's a very poor reaction, but again, here it gets very crowded ahead of the first chicane. It is an issue today. It was even much more of an issue in the 90s, because look at the awful configuration of that chicane. And oh, we made contact with a couple of guys there, and Ayrton Senna has spun round facing the wrong way. We will look at a replay of what happened there when there is the time, but now let's first look at the first lap of this high-speed circuit that back in the day was not the quickest circuit on the F1 calendar, with the existence of Hockenheim. Well, old Hockenheim, obviously, as we're going through the two Lesmos, following Andrea De Cesaris once again. We've had a couple of duels with him so far this season, so this one could yet be another one. And approaching the Variante Rettifilo for the second time now, there is more trouble. As look at that, a Leighton-house in the wall there, that is Ivan Capelli, and what a shame, he had a brilliant start, brilliant starting position as well, a chance for a first point result for the Leighton-house team maybe even, but it was not to be. And now we will look at a replay as the Cesaris is getting away from us, and this is the start here. Look at the car, the white car on the right there. This is Ayrton Senna, and once again it is a terrible start for the McLaren Hondas. We've seen that often this season. They just do not get well off the line, and then he's trying to get past his old rival Alain Prost, and I'm afraid that one is all on Senna. And let's look at the second incident at the Rettifilo chicane. We are watching Ivan Capelli, who is in a battle for P5 with Benetton's new boy Schumacher. And there is... oh, I'm not sure if there is contact, but definitely... Capelli loses it halfway through the chicane and then hits the tyre barrier. He was able to reverse out, but any chance of a good result gone. We are now starting lap 4, and there was about to be even more trouble in the Rettifilo chicane. As look at that, that is Stefano Modena facing the wrong way and Andrea Di Cesaris just coming out of the gravel there. So these two must have made contact as well. And we get a terrific run on the Cesaris round the outside of Cova Grande and then towards the Della Roggia. We are already fully ahead. We even can go back onto the racing lines and are up to P8. Now, that is the duel that we had so often this season. And the Cesaris was putting some pressure on me, as I will let you enjoy this battle in silence now. Now into Parabolic, I had a bit of a look up there. I opened the inside and the Cesaris immediately slipped through. But we are getting a good run towards the Rettifilia chicane. Slipstream is kicking in at the straight line speed of our car. But we are not close enough to try anything into that corner. And even if I was close enough, I'm not sure if I would have really tried it, given the evidence of what happens with cars battling into these corners before. And I'm not able, I'm not sure if you were able to see that just from the footage, but somehow the car felt very weird for me. Very heavy, very understeery. At this point I'm not really sure what this is all about. If this is an issue with the setup. There is a bit of evidence there, though that was me hitting the inside curb there. Which gave actually JJ Lehto an opportunity to try something into the Ascari chicane. He is alongside, but he does not find a way past and even goes onto the grass there. But yeah, I was unsure if this is a setup issue or maybe just the heavy car with all of the fuel in it. But we will find out soon enough. Now, a bit later, we are approaching the Rettifilia chicane once again. A bit of a place of destiny for this race. A lot of issues here for other drivers. I've been getting through it cleanly so far, but that is changing now. I just avoid hitting the Armco there, and I lose a lot of positions. Down to 13th now. And we are being put under pressure now by Emanuele Pirro in the other Dallara. So it still feels the same looking in our rear mirrors, but we're just 5 spots further down the order. And yeah, unsure if this is really if it's still possible to score points here today, which was the goal, especially if I drive like that. First Lesmo, there was a heavy bit of understeer. Second Lesmo, again, I touched the inside curb, which almost throws me off the road, so you should avoid that very high curb at any cost. And then, again, terrible through Ascari, and we lose the position to Manuel Pirro immediately. But now it is another duel that we've seen often before this season, as in my mirrors is the other Minardi of Gianni Morbidelli, our teammate, that finally is trying to get revenge on us. Because so far this season, often we started behind them, but almost always we took his position on track. We jump ahead in time again. Once more, approaching the Variante Rettifilio in its very, very awkward form that it was back in the day. And Morbidelli gets a good run on towards Cova Grande. He's not close enough though to try anything into that corner. I'm really busy watching my mirrors, and again, this is... I don't know what is going on with that car, but it is certainly not good. I've done a few tests before, as I always do, and never felt the car so understeering. Well, and as now Morbidelli, through Ascari, found his way by. Got a poor exit though, so we retake the position. There was a suspicion creeping in for me on why the car could feel the way it does. And remember the start of this race? Well, there was a lot of chaos into the Rettifilio chicane with Senna facing the wrong way, essentially putting him out of the race. Well, let's look at the replay of the start from our perspective, shall we? So here we are, almost alongside the Cesaris, and then, this is crucial, contact with Nakajima and the Cesaris, and I think there might have been some aero damage taken away from that incident. Well, I wasn't sure if it is worth to pit, but that decision was taken off of me, as once again we exit Variante Ascari, gets a wheel on the gravel there, we spin, and this time we do not avoid the Armco. And at this point, well, you can now see there is damage to my suspension, a little bit. The wheel is not pointing in the right, in a straight line when I'm essentially going straight. So I decided to go into the pits that lap, as I mispress a button there, putting the pit limit on very, very early. So I decided to fix any aero damage that I have, to see if that helps anything. There actually is a Ferrari in the pits, retiring from that race, so not a good home race for them. We're getting the tires fixed now, and there actually is some aero damage that is being fixed. Hasn't taken too long as we rejoin, 12.4 second pit stop. And well, we will find out if that helped anything on the first flying lap that we do. And I will just show you that lap uncommented, and you see if you can spot any difference. And as we're about to cross the line again, we had a blue flag. That was Gerhard Berger, who we were keeping up his pace. Now we lost the blue flag. And look at that. 1.5 seconds quicker than our fastest lap so far. First time asking. I managed to go even quicker in the following lap. So maybe there was just enough time to at least get close to some other drivers and have a few battles towards the end of the race. Well, but when it rains, it usually pours. Look at that, we get the message, coolant leak, and usually in Automobilista 2 that means over the course of the next couple of laps your engine is gonna explode and you are gonna have to retire from this race. So I decided to go into the pits at the end of this lap and see if I can get that fixed somehow without losing too much time to at least finish this race. Essentially this is one of the 2 home races for Martini and Minardi, so it would be a shame if we had to retire, so let's see if we can get that fixed. But definitely the car, even with that bent suspension, is feeling much better now than it has done before the stop, where it got the front wing, I suppose it was, fixed. As into the pits for the second time we go. Now this is an interesting one. How long will it try to hold us? Points are definitely off the cards one way or another. Now this is just about finishing, getting a new set of tires, but this is now the crucial bit, and yeah, I'm not gonna wait for the repairs to be finished because by then probably the race is over anyway. So I decided to retire from this race and save the engine, if you will. But of course, let's as always look at the point scorers of this race, and quite the shame, no Ferrari in the points, but at least an Italian wins, as this is Riccardo Patresi's second win this season ahead of his teammate Nigel Mansell. Impressively, Michael Schumacher on his Benetton debut immediately on the podium, so great result for Benetton in 3rd and 4th, and JJ Lehto, the first point is scored for the Dallara team. And in the Drivers' Championship, that means that Mansell has again a 10-point lead over Ayrton Senna with just 4 races to go. Could this be a hint at where this championship is going? Well, it certainly still will be exciting. We are now in 8th still, or have we dropped? I think in 8th still, so we haven't lost anything. Schumacher enters the championship in 11th and is immediately ahead of Moreno, who drove this car for most of the season. And in the Constructors' Championship, well, I think this one is pretty much decided in favor of Williams. They are a lot of points ahead of McLaren. I'm not doing the maths live as I commentate over this. Get a calculator and do it yourself. Ferrari is still in 3rd. Benetton moves up to 4th. Minardi still in 6th. And that has been it for the Italian Grand Prix 1991 in Automobilista 2. The next race in 2 weeks' time will be the Portuguese Grand Prix at Estoril. Subscribe to not miss that, leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.